most brilliant of Queensland victories at the carnival, and that's a good one for you, Tony. That's a big one. Antino won the Newman Cup.
Hi everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of the Final Gallop, episode 378, proudly supported by the Brisbane Airport Hotels Group as always. Shortly we'll preview our runners at Eagle Farm this Saturday, as well as Antino kicking off his autumn campaign down in Sydney. Good morning, Tony. Certainly feels like we've got through the summer and the autumn features are kicking off already down there.
Yeah, racing-wise it does. Weather-wise it doesn't. What a hot, humid, stinky week here in Brisbane with a lot of rain coming on the weekend. But it's great to see the autumn stars starting to kick off now. We've seen glimpses of them last week in Sydney and Melbourne, but things are really starting to heat up this week.
And just before we look forward to our preview, had some great results there last Saturday with three winners, Dominant Darcy, Zubaby and Make a Call at really good odds. So it was a good day out there on Saturday. How do you think they all went around?
Yeah, we had a pretty good day. I mean, we're probably not lucky not to have won five. The three winners was good. You know, horses raced well, Canelo as well, race two. So the team's in good shape. It was good to get back on Dooman. The track was quite quick. I mean, times were pretty chaotic there when the track record was being broken off. Season racing is always a bit bizarre, but nonetheless, it was a fair surface. Horses were winning from back, were winning from the front. I think I'm going to have two worries about hard tracks for the next week with the big rain front closing in on Brisbane. But no, our team raced really good on good ground last week. Let's see what we've got in store for this week.
Just before we do get into our previews, yourself and Andrew and our buying team were down in Sydney over the weekend and also early this week. We had a busy few days, but we picked up 10 yearlings. Pricing ranged from 50,000 to up to 240, but and all accounts, Andrew was happy with how everything went down there.
Yeah, Andrew, John and the team did a great job. I mean, it's that sort of sale. It's a different sale to Magic Millions, but it's a good sale nonetheless. It caters for a good buying group. Lots of nice racehorses there, and the team did a really good job buying at all those different levels. So, yeah, a really nice bunch of horses to come away with from that sale. We'll head off to Melbourne. I think will be our next sale, which is a very similar sale to what we just saw in Sydney. So, you know, obviously the classic sale and the premier sale in Melbourne, they're that step below price bracket from Magic Millions Premier, and then obviously Inglis Easter. But really good bunch of horses there. There's a few shares left in a few. They are selling really, really quickly, because we're buying them at that right price point. And they're nice horses we've done all the homework on, and we're certainly happy to secure these horses on the weekend.
Now we'll move on to our preview of the weekend. We'll start with Antino down in Sydney. So he will race at Randwick in race 8, the Group 2 Apollo Stakes over 1,400 metres. The rail is in the 4 metre position down there. Track is currently a soft 5. Looks mostly fine conditions down there, so certainly better than up here, and cooler days ahead. He will jump from barrier 1. Tommy Berry will take the ride, carry 59 kilos. Early odds with Ladbrokes are $20 for the win and $3.40 for the place. Big kick-off point for him. Hopefully will be a fruitful carnival for him, but you can certainly tell the carnival is here. So, certainly a very strong race, but he's been ticking over really well. Would have seen some vision earlier in the week with Bailey out in the course proper. How do you think he is presenting on Saturday?
Yeah, I've had a faultless prep with him. He's presenting really well. A lot of times going into last autumn and last spring, we're just giving him the one trial. This time I was able to get a jump out and a trial into him, so I'm that little bit further ahead. So therefore I expect that little bit better first up performance as we dig into this autumn carnival. Barrier 1 is not where I'd want to draw if I had to pick my barriers, which you get to at times. Barrier 1 wouldn't be where I picked. But in saying that, it's important that he has the right run first up to bring him on for the prep, and he's got to become more adaptable. And Tommy's got to get an affinity with the horse now and learn how to navigate and ride races on him. So it won't be as easy for Tommy from gate 1, because he doesn't love to be cluttered up, etc. This horse, but that's the challenge he has to face now ahead of him. But the horse himself's in great order. I found the market quite strange in this race. I mean, you obviously got the short price favourite, and she totally deserves to be. She's unbeaten filly or mare. But then you got the rest. You got everything else.
Many Group 1 winners.
You got a couple up, and they're like $9 Lindemann. You got a few there, and then you got all these couple of 100-to-1 shots in the race. So it's a funny race. It's always, you see this sort of race every spring, every autumn. It's that lead-off race where horses are going on to bigger targets. So it's an interesting race for a lot of these horses as they build into their autumn carnival. Nonetheless, our bloke, I'd be pretty disappointed if not running top 4. I think he's there to run well. This horse, he's got good sprint in his legs, and he can certainly be sharp enough Saturday.
Now we'll move on to our preview of our Eagle Farm runners on Saturday. The rail's in the 4 metre position. Track is currently a soft 6. Plenty of rain forecast beginning from tonight onwards. Anywhere from, depending on what forecast you look at, anywhere from 15 mil up to 150 mil. So just going to have to be a bit of a wait and see. But going through this list, we've got a fair few wet trackers in there. So we'll just see what the skies bring over the next few days.
And we are on our best wet track, Eagle Farm. It's our most draining track. That's what it's designed for. So, you know, I'm sure the team will have the track in as good a shape as they can be to handle this sort of a rain event. What seems to be, you know, imminently coming, doesn't it? You know, it's sort of, it shouldn't miss by the forecast. So we are going to be working on rain-affected ground. How much rain-affected ground we're going to find out as we get closer to Saturday.
The first race we'll preview is race 1, the 2-year-old handicap over 1,000 metres. We will have Pembrey. Ben Thompson will take the ride with 56.5 kilos, jump from barrier 9. Early odds with Ladbrokes are $2.60 for the win and $1.25 for the place. She will make her race day debut on Saturday. Couldn't have been more impressive in her lead-up trials, winning by 3 and 4 lengths in both. Draw isn't ideal, but she's a filly with good natural speed.
She's got really good speed, and she's got good ability. She's well above average. Just due to a little series of events, we had a trial on Tuesday to lead into this race. Never leaves a note, this filly, and she's done so well in the last 4 weeks physically. Nice filly. I've got good respect for the favourite, 1 start, 1 win. Her trials have been good too, the Dracaris of Birchleys. But she's a nice filly, this, above average. Not so sure about how wet I want to run her on. So we'll have a good chat to the Cura team there, and I'll work a plan of attack. But what I do know is that she's well above average. She'll be one of the, I'd imagine from what I've seen of her in the field, she's given us one of the sharper 2-year-olds we've seen here this season.
The next race we'll preview is race 3, the benchmark 70 handicap over 1,820 metres. We will have Livalittle in this race. We'll carry 59 kilos after Jasper Franklin's 3 kilo claim. We'll jump from barrier 9 of 9 after 1 scratching already, so drawn the outside. Early odds with Ladbrokes are $3.70 for the win and $1.55 for the place. Keeps rising to the challenge at the moment. Wherever we send him, he just keeps getting the job done. These past 3 wins, including last start over 2,050 metres, he's won by 6 lengths, so he'll certainly enjoy the wet. How do you think it sets up for him?
Well, it's a race that lacks a bit of tempo, but that doesn't seem to worry him, really. He's a funny horse. You just got to give him a bit of a squeeze early and try and hold some sort of spot on him where he just relaxes so much. But the good thing about him, I'm very comfortable of him in wet ground. I think he loves that sort of ground rather than hard tracks, to be honest. The horse is in great order. If it depends how wet this track is. The 2,000 back to the 1,800 is no concern for me. He's a very promising stay. You don't see him win races midweek like he did the other day and not get to some sort of heights here in the staying ranks in Queensland anyway. So he's a nice horse on a deep prep, handles wet tracks, gets in well with the 3 kilo claim for Jasper. And he's a really good kids horse. Leah won 2 on him.
Yes.
Jai won on him the other day. Now it's Jasper's turn. It's a funny race. There's 2 or 3 with really good form leading into this. But I don't argue any of them if their form's any better than his. I think he's exceptionally hard to beat.
The next race we will preview is race 4, the benchmark 70 handicap over 1,200 metres. We will have 2 runners in this. The first we will preview is Blue Spinel, our friend behind us, just enjoying a bit of time out the back of her box there. She will carry 59.5 kilos with Ben Thompson on board. Jump from barrier 11. Early odds with Ladbrokes are $8 for the win and $2.40 for the place. It's been a long time in between drinks for this mare, but she was super last start, came close to getting back in the winner's circle, stays at the same trip. Bit of a tricky draw, but should enjoy the wet conditions as well.
We'll just go back and relax on her, really. She raced really well the other day in that midweek race behind a bender, and this is that sort of midweek 70. Nice mare, run well. She'll love cutting the ground, hell-bent, no issues there. And Ben's a right ride to get her relaxed. The issue for me is carrying that 59.5. I think she'd be better with a bit less weight in the back, but Jai, who rode, obviously hurt himself in that fall and couldn't get that weight relief, but she's going well enough to run well, that's for sure. Even though she got beaten form, she's not far away.
And the second runner we'll preview is Savagery Vibe. We'll carry 57.5 kilos. Ryan Millane on board and jump from barrier 6. Early odds with Ladbrokes are $2.90 for the win and $1.50 for the place. She's placed at both starts for us. Last start, very strong to the line in an on-pace dominated race. Has enjoyed the wet track before. Tongue control lugging bit goes on first time as well.
Yeah, minimal gear change should just help her. She's got a few tricks, but she's drawn well enough with a good jock on who's now it's his second sit on her. I didn't want to go change riders again. I think just a bit of continuity with her suits her, and Pug's the right guy to have her relax where she's comfortable. Off that draw, she'll just be somewhere, just a behind speed somewhere, and she looked good. She was really good to the line at 1,000 the other day, and ran unbelievable sectionals with a bit of wet track form on the board for her. She's really well placed. I got no fear at all at 1,200 with her. The way she's racing, she should love this. I think she's very hard to beat.
Her on top.
She's on top.
Yep,
definitely.
Beautiful. Next race we will preview is race 7. It is the open handicap over 1,400 metres. We will have 3 runners in this race. The first of those we will preview is Johnny Rambo. Will carry 55 kilos. CJ Graham on board, barrier 2. Early odds with Ladbrokes are $3.90 for the win and $1.70 for the place. Steps up in trip now after being competitive in his last 4 starts. I've always wanted to test him out at the 1,400. He was strong to the line in that Class 6 plate. Looks good form for this race, and we'll enjoy the cutout.
Oh, absolutely. Loves a wet track, low draw. Rider change is a bit tricky. Not so much, no disrespect to CJ, he's just a quirky horse, and it's good when you have someone that knows him. But I think she'll handle him well enough off that low draw. She'll jump in a nice enough, close enough spot at 1,400, and he's relaxing beautifully. His work's good. You know, depends how wet this track gets. You want these race fit horses, and that's one thing he is. I think the journey's no issue at all. I think he's very, very well placed.
The second of our runners we'll preview is Queen Air. Will carry 55 kilos. Ben Thompson will ride and jump from barrier 8. Early odds with Ladbrokes are $23 for the win and $5 for the place. First up for this campaign, we'll enjoy getting over a further trip. But in saying that, she was really impressive last week in a 1,200 metre jump out in front of a nice horse of ours called Antino. 2
preps ago, she was going super. Raced really well, 1,400 first up. Last prep, nothing went right. Everything went wrong. Different horse this time round. Jump out's trial's been phenomenal. Her work's been great. You'll see her run really, really good as we go to step her out and trip. She's raced well on wet ground for me before, and she's in a really good spot, this horse.
And the third of our runners we will preview is Free Carry. Will carry 54 kilos. Emily Lang will ride and jump from barrier 5. Early odds with Ladbrokes are $8.50 for the win and $2.70 for the place. He is also first up and has won first up over this trip in his past 2 preps. Only had the 1 jump out leading into this, but was impressive there. Maps well. Emily knows the horse well. Should enjoy the bit of cut out the ground too.
Loves cut out of the ground. Always presents well, fresh up as we know. Since the blinker's gone on, his runs have been terrific. He'll be there to jump and be rolling up on speed. It'll only be him and Super Duck. Super Duck, funny enough, is a good wet tracker as well. It's a good name for it. But we'll roll up on speed. They look to control tempo and off he goes. I think the last prep was first up Eagle Farm 1,400 he won.
Yeah.
So he does present well, fresh. He's trialled, ready for his first up run. He's thereabouts. Tricky one this. All 3 of these are going really, really well, these 3 horses, you know, in different ways. Geez, if I lean to Johnny Rambo, the punters, they hate him. Because something always goes wrong with Johnny.
Like always finds a way.
He'd be running home at the end of the Warrnambool bike race, you know, like he's always coming home. But I don't know.
He's got that race fitness.
I think he's got that race fitness. We don't know what sort of track we're going to deal with. I'm going to put Johnny Rambo on top.
The next race we will preview is race 8, the benchmark 85 handicap over 1,600 metres. We will have Just Flying in this race, 57 kilos with Emily Lang on board. We'll jump from barrier 9 out of 11 after a few scratchings already. Early odds with Ladbrokes are $10 for the win and $2.80 for the place. Second up this Saturday after an okay run where it was tough up on pace and just faded out in the latter stages over 1,400. Should enjoy getting up in trip now. Distance suits him, but the gate does add a bit of a challenge, but it doesn't look a whole lot of tempo in this race.
Yeah, the gate's not a big deal. The mile here at Eagle Farm is pretty good. Just end of the little tiny dog leg to the back straight, so it's pretty well irrelevant. I think he rolls up and, you know, the horse is in good order. You know, he loves it. He can handle wet ground. He's placed on heavy. He's won on soft. Arguably hates hard ground. So I thought his first up run was actually good because they went along at a bloody good gallop and he looked like he was beaten and then he stuck to the task well. So he definitely rolls up here 1-2 in running, and I think he gives a really, really good kick. This horse is a big improver off his first up run. He's so much better out to the mile, you know, and I think he's actually over the odds. I think he's definitely a top 3 chance here.
The next race we will preview is race 9, the open handicap over 1,000 metres. We will have Brereton in this race. He will carry 52 kilos, nice light weight with Emily Lang on board. Draws barrier 2. Early odds with Ladbrokes are $15 for the win and $3.50 for the place. Was sold last start is at this track and trip in an on-pace dominated race. Should enjoy getting no weight off his back and gets a nice weight swing off the winner from last start. How do you think it presents for him on Saturday?
I think it presents like they're going to go like last week's pay.
Same again.
They're going to fly. There's so much speed here. You know, like Steady Ready. I always call him Steady Eddie. Steady Ready. He just knows one speed flat out, and obviously he punched it at the end of the 1200 at Magic Millions, which you'd expect. But he's going to be hard to catch here, and he's a wet tracker. Then you got Tiger Tie, you know, with Talia Fenlon on from a low draw. It's going to punch along too. Geez, it was quick out the other day and got rolling. So they're going to make this uncomfortable for a lot of horses. They're going to hook along in this race. There's a list of others. You know, Manalo Blingley can roll. There's others there. Power of the Braves got good speed as well. So I see really good speed here. I don't know where we'll be in the run. I'd imagine we're mid to, you know, even off a low draw, I reckon we're mid to back here. And then trying to blend into the race, giving room to the outside. Now, he doesn't want heavy ground, he wants soft ground. If he gets into the heavy range, we'll bait another day. But I just find this race an absolute... You'll run this race 10 times, you'll get a different result. This will be a foot to the floor job from the minute they hit the ground. Should be run at Kilcoy this race. They're going to hook along. So, I don't know. He'll run well, my bloke, but... You know, can he be comfortable on this sort of tempo? I'm not sure. They'll run very fast here.
And the last race we'll preview is race 10, the benchmark 85 handicap over 1,200 metres. We'll have up to 3 runners in this race. The first of those we'll preview is Millane. Will carry 61 kilos. Ryan Maloney on board and jump from barrier 12. Early odds with Ladbrokes are $17 for the win and $4.80 for the place. He'll be second up for his campaign on Saturday. Didn't set up too well for him first up at the sunny coast, drops in grade. He's certainly a horse that loves the wet and will certainly enjoy the big track of Eagle Farm as well. How do you think it presents for him on Saturday?
Well, it was just messy first up. He just got pulling and carrying on. He's just got to relax, and Ryan knows that. He's got to switch him off, even at 61, just switch him off in the second half of the field, just get him breathing, get him into a good rhythm, then produce him and he'll run on. He's definitely my best wet tracker here. Well, Gospel Girl wouldn't be far off. He's pretty good in the wet, this horse as well. He's a big improver, Millane. Over the odds, massive improver. Pug's just got to ride him in the right manner.
The second runner we will preview is About to Explode. Will carry 57.5 kilos. Ben Thompson on board and jump from barrier 15. Early odds with Ladbrokes are $10 for the win and $3.30 for the place. First up for this campaign, and usually does need a run to build into his campaign, but looked good in a jump out last week. And by this time of the day, it may pay to be off fence and coming down the centre of the track too.
He doesn't want it any worse than soft, I don't think. He'll be first up. So, you know, soft ground, we might look at it. He loves Eagle Farm, is the reason why. If it's heavy, I'll have to wait and we'll have to go to another race at Doomben next week with him. But he loves the farm. I've seen some cracking wins from this horse back in unwinnable positions and really hitting the line. So, look, he's there to run well, but he needs the right ground.
And the third of our runners we'll preview is Gospel Girl. Will carry 55.5 kilos. Emily Lang on board and jump from barrier 5. Early odds with Ladbrokes are $6.50 for the win and $2.45 for the place. Just pipped on the line first up at this same track and trip, but she was super. Competitive second up record and gets a nice 2 kilo weight swing on the winner from last start. And as you mentioned previously, certainly enjoys the wet track.
I can't work out the, with the weight swing and the fact that she loves the wet. You know, she's placed on heavy, won a bunch on soft. I can't understand the price difference. You know, she's $6.50 and it's $3 something.
And drawn well as well.
And drawn well. Like, she's drawn to get a really good run here. She wasn't sort of really wound right up first up either, where, you know, now she's had that run, she's really come on. She looks to get a lovely run in her best position, which is sort of like 3rd, 4th, 5th, just behind what looks to be a good enough speed. We've got to see what stays in these races too, depending on how wet this track gets, but she's a definite heavy tracker. She can handle that ground, handles wet ground. Big improver. I dare say she is my best in this race, just for the weight pool that she's got. And we tossed her whether we're going to go this week or next week, but with the wet weather arriving, I think you just got to run her. She's very effective on wet ground. So, big improver, and I'd imagine her and Presslink, those prices will come closer together. Well, I think they should come closer together, come jump, depending on the surface here.
Now we are into the final furlong of the Final Gallop. Tony, who was your best winning chance on Saturday for the stable?
Oh, John Rambo. No, I wouldn't do it to him. I wouldn't do it to the horse, and I wouldn't do it to the punters out there, because I know what Johnny Rambo can do. Well, actually, no one knows what he can do. He can do whatever.
Even he doesn't know.
He doesn't know some days. Depends how Johnny is on the day. But just caught a bit of a mad horse on a real wet track. He could just love it. But no, it won't be Johnny Rambo. I think there's something about Savagery Vibe, the way she's building, and with Pug on her and that. As long as we're not dealing with an absolute bog, I think she can be really hard to beat, her or Livalittle. I think he's a pretty nice horse, Livalittle. Yeah. Nice staying horse in good order. You know, either one of those two are probably the pick of them.
And best each way chance?
Each way is tricky. There's a few good each way chances in the race. I don't know whether you call Johnny Rambo each way at his price, but I'd be shocked if he doesn't run well, because he loves wet. Gospel Girl, 650 in the last. Millane's 11 in that race. Good wet trackers. It all depends on what sort of track we get here on Saturday. If I knew we were going to get a good 4, it'd be a different lot of selections. I'd actually back myself Pembrey to win the 2-year-old race if it was a good 4. She'd definitely be my best, but rain affected tracks throw up all sorts of results. So we're a little bit skew off doing this on a Thursday.
Fine weather ahead.
Fine weather's above us now, and we're dealing with what they're telling us may come. So it's a little bit trickier to do this, do the forecast for this weekend.
And just at the provincials, best of the provincials, we'll have a couple at the Gold Coast on Saturday, Kilcoy on Sunday, all being weather dependent as well.
Yeah, I think well, if the rain comes, I think Kilcoy wouldn't go around if he struggles with the rain. Gold Coast may, but no, I think we'll leave the provincials alone for me, for tipping wise this week, and we'll just focus on Eagle Farm. We know it's a track that can handle the rain, and we've got some nice wet trackers there.
Beautiful. And best at track work this week, we had a couple go over the course proper.
Antino.
Yeah,
he was a pick of him. I'm just really happy with where he's at. He led out in a gallop against that same horse, Just Flying, who can also run well each way on Saturday.
Another one,
and then we sat him off him on Tuesday, and he's just worked really well. He's just in for a great autumn, I'm sure. So obviously off the Cox Plate defeat his last run, we want to see him run well on Saturday. But he was the horse I was most happy with on Tuesday morning.
Lovely. And then we had a fair few go around at the trials at Doomben. There was a few that caught our eye, but any you think the punters should put in the black book and follow from there?
Well, I think some of the 2-year-olds there were pretty good. I mean, they were pretty obvious. Yeah. They were sort of our main horses, I think, there on Tuesday. A few nice 2-year-olds you'll see present now and then in the winter, and then some later in the season. So out of those, Boomtowns was really good. There was one beaten down the track, I'm not going to mention his name, but he's a pretty good 2-year-old too. You'll see him step out in a couple of weeks. And obviously, Pembrey and Night Market were really good in those 850s. Just always tricky off those 850s. They're a short trial, so it'll be a little bit giving. But both those fillies are well above average. Night Market's a smart filly, a daughter of Jonker, which is pretty cool to see them going well.
And now it is on to Cavs Corner for this week, proudly supported by Brisbane Airport Hotels Group. Landed his first leg last week with Dominant Darcy, but unfortunately missed the second leg with Hell. Probably wasn't the only one there, but let's head over to Cavs Corner for this week and see what his multi is.
Welcome to Cavs Corner for this week. This week we're going to venture to Eagle Farm. We will go Livalittle a win into Millane top 4. It's about $10.10 for the $1 dividend. Thank you.
So Tony, Cav has gone the wet trackers. He's gone Livalittle a win into Millane a top 4, paying about $10. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, good value, and they're both going to handle the wet. So both, and Millane's had a run, so that fitness, that edge is off him where he just gets a bit keen. So no, I like his multi this week. I really do. I mean, you don't know what's going to stay in these races, yada, 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 with wet tracks and things like that, but no, I like his multi.
Beautiful. Well, good luck, Tony. It's good to see Antino kicking off down there. Hopefully a fruitful campaign down in Sydney for him. And we've got some really nice chances at Eagle Farm. Hopefully the rain isn't as bad as they say it is, but we'll see what happens over the next few days.
We will, mate.
Good luck, guys.
Happy punting, everyone.